Earth, a tiny little planet located in the solar system. The solar system located in the Milky Way. The Milky Way located in the universe. Whoa. Let's go back to Earth. We share Earth with 7 other planets in their solar system. But as far as scientists know, Earth is the only planet that has this vast ecosystem of life, from humans to animals to nature, all in conjunct, working together in harmony to provide the best environment for life to continue to exist, right? Wrong! After the Industrial Revolution, machines started to control our lifestyle through capitalism. Work, people, industries, transportation, electricity, money, climate change. Wait, what?
And by the way, it's supposed to be 70 degrees today and it's freezing here. Speaking of global warming, we need some global warming. It's freezing. And
What would you say to people that think climate change is a hoax?
Well, it's kind of like asking what would I say to people who think the Earth is flat instead of round. It's they're living in a fake news universe. The greenhouse effect has been well-established physics for more than 100 years. Scientists know very well how it works.
So let's understand how the greenhouse effect works. When trees are cut, a greenhouse gas called CO2 is released into the atmosphere. This greenhouse gas creates the greenhouse effect, which traps heat on the surface of the Earth. You can imagine this getting worse and worse when entire forests are set on fire. That's my homeland, the Amazon Rainforest in Brazil. According to the Raintree website, the biggest tropical forest in the world provides 20% of Earth's oxygen, yet it has 1.5 acres lost per second. But why? Cattle ranching. Yes, all so you can eat your meat. Besides deforestation, another contributor to global warming is the burning of fossil fuels. But how does this work?
It's basically releasing carbon that's locked up in the ground back into the atmosphere. I mean, you can imagine all of the oil, natural gas, coal used to be stored in wells or reserves deep in the earth, and they would never be exposed into the surface. But because humans are extracting all of these carbon sources and burning them, we're releasing all of that carbon into the atmosphere.
The effects of this? Well,
Humanity is facing the greatest crisis that it's ever seen, and that's the climate crisis.
the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change warns that the global average temperature should be kept below 1.5 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, if it gets to 2, 4, or even 7 degrees, which predictions expect, we can expect a collapse of the whole ecological system in the ocean, the extinction of species that cannot adapt, sea levels rising from the Greenland ice sheet and Arctic ice melting, deadly heat, increase of storms, droughts, hurricanes, fires, earthquakes.
I don't think we know how to deal with this. But this is only the little wedge. When it becomes, when we move forward and it's a bigger deal, I worry. I worry that my kids are going to get hit by that. And so, what do you do at this point?
As Professor Klein said, this is all happening because of capitalism, which is an economic system that, by its nature, has to expand its economic growth to avoid economic crisis. Under capitalism, a corporation that doesn't grow is a corporation that will soon be out of business. Capitalism depends on increasing emissions, but you can't have infinite expansion on a finite planet. Therefore, the global capitalist system is inconsistent with the sustainability of the planet. So what's the solution?
We have to find another system of human relations other than capitalism if we're going to survive. And we have to take rapid steps right away.
Professor Klein suggests to change our system to eco-socialism, eco as ecology, and socialism because under this system, economic growth is not mandated for its survival.
World systems don't change that quickly on their own, so you know this is going to have severe consequences.
So what's something that can be done now?
We should practice individual responsibility. Try to recycle, try to minimize your carbon footprint. That's all good.
Recycling! Yes, that's what CSUN does.
But it has to go far beyond that.
In 2018, CSUN adopted a new bin system. Across campus, there are the landfill, mixed recycling, and organics in all of the hallways. Overall, do you think CSUN is doing its job to try to promote sustainability?
No.
No.
It's doing kind of officially sanctioned stuff. There's some recycling programs, there's a few solar panels and things like that, but what we really need to do is just ban plastic, for example. Get rid of the plastic water bottles, any single-use plastic. That's made out of petroleum products, and recycling is practically non-existent. It's never exceeded 10% for the world in general. There's 1 million plastic bottles being bought every minute in the world, in the whole world. Not every day, but every minute. So the fact that CSUN has all this plastic stuff around campus means that it's contributing to this problem.
Hey CSUN, it's time to make Matadors Go plastic free, isn't it?
Not to call anyone out, but you go to Freudenship anywhere on campus and you hardly see anyone bring their own cup. I bring my own, but I'm a little sustainability crazy, so.
We need behavioral change. It's really hard to get people to change. A lot of people who could even profit off of insulating their home. They get a government subsidy to insulate their home, and in 2 years that's paid for itself, and they're still not doing it. That wake-up moment that people need to have. They need to be woke and they need to be ready to act. So I think we need journalists and artists and people who connect with people emotionally. The logical arguments and the scientific arguments are all there, mountains of it. More of it isn't going to do anything. What we need is to move people.
As a UN messenger of peace, all that I have seen and learned on my journey has absolutely terrified me. Now think about the shame that each of us will carry when our children and grandchildren look back and realize that we had the means of stopping this devastation, but simply lacked the political will to do so.
The basic science of global warming is pretty straightforward. It's the greenhouse effect. And so the rest is politics.
Democrat candidate of the 2020 elections in the United States, Bernie Sanders, brought up the Green New Deal that will help reduce our emissions.
A key principle of the Green New Deal is that it's too late to incrementally move away from fossil fuels. It has to happen quickly and dramatically.
We have to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 45% by 2030, and then reduce it to 0 by 2050. And even then, it's only a 50-50 chance.
People don't seem to get zero emissions means zero oil business, means zero natural gas business, no coal business, no internal combustion engine auto business. The number 0 means it all has to go.
But how do we completely shut down industries that depend on fossil fuels? Isn't it mind-blowing to think of a world without airplanes?
There are these people now doing it's like extermination protests or something, where they get on airplanes and they refuse to sit in their seats so the plane can't take off, and they ground the plane. They're the front line. They're a front line. They're telling us how inconvenient this is going to have to be. Yeah, nobody wants their plane grounded, but guess what? We're all going to be sitting on that. We're all going to get grounded. It's going to come to that. And the sooner we recognize it and start making hard choices and lifestyle changes, the better. This is in fact going to be a real game-changing experience.
It's not controversial at all. Climate science is real. The global warming is real. The thermometers don't lie. We don't have Democrat thermometers versus Republican thermometers. They're just thermometers, and they tell the truth. But Donald Trump is headed in the opposite direction of where we need to go. His policies are pro-fossil fuel, increasing emissions, and it's a disaster for humanity and for many other species.
We need to push the Green New Deal forward with political leaders. And to do that, we need masses of people to join movements to control the climate crisis.
You should continually tell adults and everyone else around you that already has businesses in power to make the change, because it's their responsibility as well. They're the ones that can make the change now.
We really need young people to be involved. It's their future.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you!
It's a problem now of profit versus survival. So the profit of a few versus the survival of everybody else.
The Declaration of Independence of the United States points out that the government was created to protect humans' rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But that's exactly the opposite of what they are doing.
The worst and most frustrating situation you can be in is when you know there's work to be done and it's not getting done. And I feel like politically and even more broadly across the board in our society, it's just not getting done.
And why is that? What are the government waiting for? New technology to save us all in the future?
If your plan to solve this global scale, threat is to hope that we have a technology that we don't today have, but we hope that it comes along in time to rescue us, that's not a plan, right? That's just praying for a miracle. So I think we need to not put our eggs in that particular basket. Of course, keep working on it, but in the meantime, solve the problem. And that would be by cutting way, way back on everything we do that emits carbon dioxide, and I don't know how. I'm sure it's brutal, it's really difficult.
Let's stop being selfish and keep on fighting for our human rights and be the voice for the voiceless.
Biologists report that up to 1 million species of animals and plants are on the verge of extinction right now. And we're in the midst of what's called the 6th mass extinction. The 5th mass extinction was 65 million years ago, and that's what ended the dinosaurs. So the problem is that the capitalist governments of the world are not treating the climate crisis as a crisis. It's an emergency, and they're not acting like it's an emergency.
I worry that for a long time people would try not to change their lifestyle. Just use the new technology to continue the same lifestyle to the last possible moment, which may be too late. I think one of the things that we are losing is the sense that the world will just go on. When we have a bad day or we see that our lives are frail individually, at least we have this kind of comfort in recognizing the world will endure. And that's problematic right now. The world may not endure.
It's scary. But the key point is there's still time to act, but not a whole lot of time. Students are kind of brainwashed to just accept the status quo and imagine that it can't be changed, but it can be changed. It's a human creation, so we can do something else instead.
We can't stop fighting. I know I won't. As Thunberg said, change is coming, whether you like it or not.